Hi there, welcome to the Noah Presgrove case. A key debate which is ongoing is, did Noah Presgrove walk away from the party house property? But today, I want to focus in on a supposed event which happened the day before or the night before, and the proof to show where it came from and who by. I don't think it's been talked about enough. And with credit to one individual in the comment section saying, I don't remember hearing Sara Long, for example, reference Noah walking away the day or night before. That's why I want to do this video right here, right now. I've already done coverage on it, but I don't think I've done a dedicated one with the title and the theme of today. So join me as I analyse it, put it into perspective, and try and understand what does it mean if Noah was to walk away multiple times. Does it reinforce the general public's perception, or some of which, where they believe Noah Presgrove regretted going back to that party? He shouldn't have returned back, and it's indications of it because of walking away a few times here and there. The regret of being present should have been elsewhere, and so on. And for people on the opposite end that believe it to be no big deal, you could tie it in with maybe the Red River trip over the course of the days, as mentioned by BBC. So welcome if you're currently here during the live premiere. Share your thoughts and reactions in the live chat on the right side. And if you want to share additional questions, answers, discussions, theories, or even if you're just watching on catch up, just be sure to drop a comment down below under the video. It does help with spreading awareness and the engagement as well to get the focus out there. And if you want to hype the video, that'd be much appreciated. That'll be below across the comment section area if you're on mobile device. You can vote up to 3 times in a week on a particular channel, I believe. So if the option isn't quite available, maybe you've already voted 3 times within 1 week on the channel. That's just a heads up. If you want to catch up on recent coverage by me, you'll be able to find the full playlist, top right corner where the eye symbol is up there, with some loose videos attached with what I've just recently covered from yesterday, breaking news on other cases. And if you do want to support my channel, there is a PayPal link below in the comment section pinned, along with channel membership. The order of how we'll do things today, I'm going to get straight into the post where it came from and Sara Long stating what she said, just to show as proof to you of what I'm referencing and that it does exist, and then add on as to how it implicates the case. Here we are. You will be able to find it on Jasmine Millan's post on her own Facebook page, 3rd of November 2023, in which she was bringing it back up for context regarding her snap at 3:41 September 4th, 2023, saying Noah is missing. You'll be familiar with that. And it was Sara Long that commented down here. If we just scroll along, we will find her comment very shortly. There you go. You can pause the video if you want. Just basically giving her point of view, just like the night before. There we go. So it's like the first paragraph. Keep your head up, Sara says. You've all been cooperating since day one. Investigators have all the information they're sharing, so it's nothing new. I'm sure when you posted this snap, you were expecting it to be like any other night when you went looking for him. Any other night when you went looking for him. Any other night as in it's a regular occurrence at every party, that at least once a night that Noah will walk away and then you go looking for him. That's a bit weird, isn't it? But then Sara says, and if you look very closely, just like the night before when Yael found him after he had walked off. What's that all about? Then it continues on. I don't think you posting a snap, Carter running into a cardboard box, a young man who grew up in a country who just got back from hog hunting holding a gun, or even the boys teasing each other makes anyone guilty. Well, maybe not. But in terms of shooting at animals, was it clean kills? Was it actual hunting? Or was it recklessness by the guys when out in the field? Because yes, you had a dove hunt, which should have been more done in a professional way and clean kills. Were these partygoers drunk and driving and shooting? Sounds a bit reckless. Oh, it's just animals at the end of the day. It's not a human, so it doesn't mean that much. Still, not a good look there, but that's its own thing, right? That's just my opinion. But it's Sara Long that says, just like the night before when Jarl found him after he had walked off. And even the bit before that, as in, you know, Jasmine, you posted this expecting it to be like any other night when you went looking for him, just like the night before Noah's death, which I guess would be Sunday. Interesting. And in terms of what Jasmine had to say herself, not knowing Noah would never come back, it was normal for Noah to wander off. Nobody thought he wouldn't be back. So don't even think for a second just because I posted that Noah's missing means I know what actually happened to him, because I'm just as clueless as everyone else. Whilst we're at it, we might as well apply it to the maps here. Whilst, yes, I did do a video just recently about Noah walking away and the whole claim of Casey Smith, the mother to Noah Presgrove, calling out Jack Newton because Jack once said to her at the funeral home back in the past that supposedly Noah walked away at 1:30 in the morning or something, and then the story changed from there. Well, let's forget about what Jack says for a second. Let's forget about Monday for a second, because the theme of Noah walking off is quite a crucial part in the case, considering that's the enabling factor which led or was a part of the piece leading up to Noah's death, from the looks of it. Oh, did Noah walk off the property? I wouldn't say so myself, out of his own free will. But I do think that there's a fair chance that he walked away to cool off, to get some fresh air outside, to have some peace and quiet by himself. That's very normal to happen at a party. But is it normal to be walking away from the party quite often? Depends. If you want a breather to get away from it, that can happen daily. It could happen hour by hour, every few hours you go outside to catch your breath, to get some fresh air and do whatever. Maybe that's what Noah would normally do. At least it's been worded by Caden to Jasmine that it's normal for Noah to walk off from a party. But that makes it sound like a singular event at a party. But this was over the course of days, meaning there was multiple days of partying, meaning multiple days of Noah having the choice to walk off, to walk away. Now, driving away is different to walking away, as in one's probably more intended in getting back home or going somewhere, which covers distance. Walking away is likely a temporary activity, stretching the legs. And whilst we've got all these markers, which I've already covered before and I've done videos on, you can always look back, especially for this point here. Okay? Sunday, Noah Presgrove walked off and found by friends, said by Sara Long. You've seen it yourself on that Facebook post. So when people say, where is it? Where's the proof? I've never seen it before. You have now seen it. So feel free to share the video, because how often is it talked about and referenced? And why would she know when she wasn't even there? Has any of the partygoers made a reference to Noah walking off? See, we talk about what happened on Friday. No one wants to talk about it. Caden Pressey was supposedly there from one of the interviews, as he stated, but also in the Partners in True Crime interview, he said, I don't want to talk about it. I can't talk about it. What the hell does that mean? Something being hidden? So these mysterious days, which are before Noah's death, which could be deemed as insignificant, not that important, not as a witness type thing, but if it's not that important, then it should be explained clearly. And what the excuse to deflect it is, well, it's not important. It's a day before the death, so we don't need to look into it. It's like people are trying to mask it, as in there was something going on, whether it links to Noah's death or it's something completely different, which is a crime. Who knows? Why can't we just have clarity? See, if it's on the day of Noah's death, there might be some events where it's a bit murky, blurry, uncertain, unsure, things not released because it's a part of the case investigation. So what stuff isn't being released when it comes to Friday, the day of the party, the 1st September, and then even the 3rd, the Sunday, as in when Noah supposedly walked off and was found by his friends? If that's true, and that's what happened, it can link and reinforce the possibilities, the likelihood of when Noah walked away at 3:30, and then around 4 in the morning or a bit before, that's when people started going out searching and going to the Sandplank crossing, up to there, and then turning back and looking around and so on. If they've already gone out searching once, they do it again. But did he ever get tired of it? Oh, we've got to go and fetch Noah again. Oh, he's walked away. It's like some kind of child daycare thing. Isn't Noah Presgrove an adult enough to make his own decisions if walking away, but partygoers have a level of concern and care, which is a positive thing at the end of the day, but couldn't it also equal a level of concern? Where is he at? Where could he be? Is Noah Presgrove pranking, joking around? Why does it seem like Noah Presgrove walks away and then other people are on their feet constantly searching for him? How many times did Noah truly walk off on the Monday? We've already done a video on that, as you see all the markers there. But I think it's important to focus in on Sunday or Sunday evening when Noah supposedly walked off. But he was found by friends and he was brought back to the house. How long was Noah Presgrove away for? How come no one else talks about it? Why is it Sara Long, of all people, who wasn't even a partygoer, that makes a reference to it? You know? And because of the timing of it, and considering the likes of Caden, Pressy and other people didn't go to sleep until early Monday morning, it would mean anything that happened on Sunday has higher chances of being a witness to it in some way or another. And in some ways, it was like Caden was hanging around Noah, like with the vehicle, the Ford Ranger, and Jack and Brylan and Isaac driving around shooting animals in the field area, for example, this field, driving about and jumping a culvert and getting back to the house before dark or so, or the evening. And at some point as well, afternoon, evening, Caden, Pressy and Noah using those golf clubs to smash objects up lightly outside. So Caden being close to Noah with a few different activities here and there, and Sunday being the day when Noah decided to come back, return back in the afternoon, where people said that was the regret. That's what Noah shouldn't have done, but Noah was persuaded in manipulative ways, as people claim, that Jack was begging Noah to come back, but that was a rumour at the end of the day, and Justin Roy claimed he got wrong information, supposedly, about that. Nevertheless, Noah made his own choice and the decision to return back, but knowing he didn't have his own vehicle, so he was dependent on a ride home, a ride there, etc. Did that influence why Noah would walk off or walk away? Well, you'd have to ask yourself or ask other people, even Caden if he was available. All the previous parties when Noah Presgrove would walk away, did he have his own vehicle with him at the time? Because if so, well then it may not be a big deal. If Noah Presgrove only walked away when he didn't have a vehicle with him and he relied on someone for a ride home, you could find an undertone of a potential theme of when dependent and reliant on someone, Noah's limited to what he can do or where he goes, right? What I'd like to know is, if it is all true that Noah had walked away on Sunday, what was the reason for that? Because when it comes to Monday, you could apply it to numerous things, from being rejected a ride home, a level of frustration building, you never know. Side-by-side rollover, maybe not a big deal there. Bedroom debacle, cherry on the top, which caused Noah to get frustrated. Couldn't get what he wanted, drunk as well, decided to go and cool off. May have said some words to Avery in the process, from what we've heard. May have backfired. May have what ultimately led to that verbal fight between Avery, Jack versus Noah, as said in the wrongful death lawsuit. That's if it's completely true, because I've never seen it or heard it before. Only that Justin Roy said that Jack and Noah argued on the Monday, but no time was given, unless that links to the wrongful death lawsuit, right? But you can see certain events which caused Noah to be frustrated in the moment or long term to then want to walk away, cool off. What went wrong Sunday evening for Noah to be, one, drunk, and to be irritated or frustrated by something or someone or some event that he had to pull himself away from the party to cool off? Because based on what Caden Pressy says, Jasmine as well saying it's normal, but Caden adding on by saying Noah, when normally drunk, would walk away before things get intense. He didn't want to bring the mood down, which is a positive. But it would likely mean that something is going on or ongoing or previously happened to cause Noah to want to distance himself. So what events or event happened Sunday evening, Sunday night to cause Noah to walk away, right? Would it be Mikey Lair and Noah Presgrove wrestling each other on the patio area? Would it be Mikey Lair thinking Noah took his phone, so then Mikey fishhooks Noah and Noah bites Mikey's finger? Did that lead to some frustration? Was there any other events that you can think of or know of? Any other little pieces which you may have heard of at one point which could link to why Noah was frustrated? You got to take in mind, would it be considered Sunday night or early Monday morning past midnight, depending on the descriptions and the outlook, because there is a bit of an overlap at times and it's very frustrating. If by some chance, when they say the night before, if Sara Long, just hear me out, if Sara Long is like how what other people would say, as in the night that Noah Presgrove died, but they actually mean Monday, even though Monday as in morning, but they refer to it as nighttime, which is a bit stupid, to be honest, when you're looking back retrospectively, but that's what people do. When they say the night before Noah's death, are they referring to Sunday night or are they referring to Saturday night? If by some chance they were referring to Saturday night past midnight going into early Sunday morning, you could put the argument across and say the one event there which could justify Noah Presgrove walking away to cool down is when Noah found out that Jack was flirting behind Noah's back with Noah's girlfriend, from what Caden Pressey claimed and witnessed, that there was pushing and shoving, and maybe Noah Presgrove had enough and walked off to cool off, and then they had to try and find him. You know, if Noah Presgrove had been screwed over, stabbed by his best friend behind his back, and flirting with his girlfriend, Noah Presgrove, it justified in walking off to cool down, even if it's temporarily, right? But what events happened on Sunday, arguments or disagreements or a fight or a verbal disagreement, which led to Noah frustrated, not getting what he wanted, walking away to cool off? Do we actually know of any events? Because when you look at Sunday, when you look at examples of Caden Pressey's footage of 10:50 p.m. and then that other clip of 10:52 p.m. Sunday night of Noah dancing in the kitchen, he looks very happy. And then the next piece of footage jumps to 1:05 in the morning, right? From 10:52 to 1:05. It's not a big jump. Not, well, actually, no, it's a fair jump, to be honest. Yeah, I'll give that. From 10:52 p.m. to morning time of 1:05 a.m. A few hours passing by. And what happened in between that time frame window? We don't actually see any footage in between that time. I don't think we see much at 11 p.m, do we? I don't remember seeing any photos or videos at 11 p.m. The only bit of media that I saw was from Caden Pressey's point of view at 12:48 a.m, also known as 00:48, and that is when Georgia was outside throwing up. What was Noah Presgrove doing at that point? Don't know. But I find it interesting how Jasmine Millan does a snap at 3:41 saying, oh, well, Noah's missing. Okay, harmless. How come no one did a funny Snapchat or recording of looking for Noah Presgrove? You know, something like that, as in Sunday. Or maybe even Monday, maybe because they didn't think it was worthy or deemed worthy enough. But, you know, as a prank or a joke or messing about, walking around, what's actually truly documented? It's like the Red River. That's where Noah went at some point on and off, like what BBC says, along with some others. How come that was never documented? Oh, because there's a bad signal, because there's no cell connection out there. Okay, we'll just use your default camera on your phone then, just to record it, playing around in the water, making happy memories. It seems like there's an underwhelming sense of things being documented from the party, unless big portions of it are still locked behind a wall, or people just deem it as not important, so there's no need to share it or show it public. But I think even the days before, it could tell a certain story. and fill out the grey areas. I think it's all important at the end of the day, especially when people like to go on about timelines. A timeline requires a start to end and a midpoint with details, photos, videos, and timestamps. And footage and videos and clips and photos normally do have a timestamp attached by default, so it makes it important by default. But I want to know your thoughts. If Noah Presgrove had walked away Sunday evening, Sunday night, what was the reason for it? Leave a comment down below. What event do you think ties with it too? And then the next question, what direction do you think Noah Presgrove went? Did he go east like how he did on the Monday and never to be seen again, alive? Did he go west down that way towards the woodland area? And I think that's owned by Stevie Howard, her trailer, and then Red River further down that way. Did Noah Presgrove try getting into one of the fields to lay down and rest, like how Jack suggested when it came to Monday, as in where Noah could possibly be? Did Noah recreate that the night before, Sunday? Is that where it all came from? I want to know your thoughts. The only other important factor we've got to pick up on is Sara Long is the sister to Stevie Howard, and Sara Long was the one designated or ordered by Stevie to go on down to the party house because Stevie was further away in distance. So because of practicality, that's what happened. And why is that a big deal? Because Sara Long in the earlier days was the one claiming that got there at 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning and then had to wake the boys up, had to wake them up, including Caden Pressey. Well, 8 in the morning onwards, Caden had already left from his account. Caden said he left at 7 in the morning and was ordered to by Renee Millan. And Isaac, Brylan and Mikey were passengers in Caden's vehicle. Now, okay, some people say it wasn't 7 in the morning, it was maybe around 7:30 or 7:40 for ODOT to have closed the highway, because 7 in the morning, if Caden had left, the highway was supposedly still open. So maybe Caden got the timing slightly wrong, maybe. But that aside, as long as it's before 8 in the morning and Caden had already left, then what Sara Long says seems to be somewhat incorrect. And she might have the time off, or did at some point. And while these posts and claims might be old now, have they been cleared up? Not that I'm aware of. And if they have been, a not so good job has been done, because it's not really spread alertness or awareness, has it? So that's why I'm doing this video right now, to bring the focus and the discussions back. And even Renee Millan, although countering Caden by saying, well, no, I never told him to do this. I never told him to do that. I didn't tell him to get the cooler. I didn't force him to. And I didn't even tell him to leave. He just left. Based on that language by Renee isn't countering the time of when Caden left, just countering under the circumstances. Caden says Renee told him to leave. Renee says, I never said that. But in terms of the timing, nothing being contested there. So you could interpret it that Renee indirectly agrees around 7 in the morning is when Caden, Briley, Mike and Isaac had left the party house, leaving the girls and only the girls behind. And yet Sara Long is the one saying 8 in the morning onwards, got down there to wake up the boys, including Caden Pressey. How could you if they weren't there and they were gone an hour or more earlier? So that would imply that Sara Long got that wrong and got it wrong badly. Surely you'd be able to identify and know, regardless of the time, surely you'd be able to know and identify a male to a female, right? From certain familiar faces to others. Unless Sara Long, when she says I got there at 8 or 9 in the morning, she actually meant to say I got there at 6 or 7 in the morning. But then again, Caden never mentioned anything about seeing Sara Long, so likely the time doesn't align there. And Sarah saying she went later or arrived at the house later could well be true. But in terms of who was present there at that later point, not so true. So how can you manage to mess that up and get all confused? That is very weird. And why I said that is, if she's got some things wrong badly or made a mistake or there's some kind of confusion and it's not been cleared up since, it needs to be cleared up and awareness needs to be spread and brought back again as for focus. But it could also put into doubt and question the reliability the validity of did Noah Presgrove actually walk away Sunday night, the night before Noah's death? Where did he end up? How long did it take to find him? Did it even happen? And why is Sara Long the only one mentioning it, and it was only ever mentioned once? There was no follow-up by Jasmine Millan in the comment section response. I've not seen any other partygoers make a reference to it, not even seen Caden Pressey make a reference to it. And for some of the events, Caden Pressey was around Noah Presgrove more often than the events following on Monday when Caden was asleep. So surely someone would have seen something or remembered Noah walking away the night before. At the end of the day, maybe it leads to nothing, but hopefully awareness can be spread. Just so you see it with your own eyes, what was once said in the past, and it does stand out to me because the more times Noah Presgrove supposedly does walk away, the more questions of what was the pattern, and if there was one. But if 2 or 3 times Noah walked away, how come that final time it ended differently for Noah? What was different compared to the previous times of Noah walking away? Same environment, same location, around the same people or so, near to the same time. Did he choose a different route, a different direction? Is it because the final time he walked away, there was a bad taste in people's mouths because of an ongoing conflict or tension with the bedroom debacle, and there was a follow-up there? That earlier on, or the night before, when Noah Presgrove walked away, it was under different circumstances which were a bit more relaxed and eased, and it wasn't as tense or negative, so there was no need of a consequence for Noah walking away. Either way, Noah walking away to get some air does equal distancing yourself, isolating yourself, and indirectly making yourself more of a target and vulnerable if anything was to go wrong. You could say, did Noah Presgrove walk away from the party out of his own free will, or was it against his choice? And if he had walked away any times before, was that down to his choice or not? From what Jasmine to Caden says, it was down to free choice and free will. Even now, didn't actually see Noah walking away, only the after effects of it, as in his absence. So we'll leave it there for now. It was just a shorter video. I just wanted to put it back on the map and the importance behind it. Not about all the times in general or what Casey was told by Jack, but specifically what Sara Long had stated of all people. You let me know if you believe in it or not, and the reasons too. My name's Warlike Raph. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.